Hillary Clinton gave a speech last week. I happen to know because somebody told me she gave a speech and she spent the whole time talking about how the presidential election was stolen from her. Bull feathers. No, it wasn't. He won according to the Constitution. It's called the electoral system. Now, you know that a lot of people are trying to change that with this little stealth below the radar movement they got going on, because there is language in the Constitution that says if the state legislature, wants to do something different and they pass this, and I don't know all of the details of it, but they are trying to make sure that their state can award all the electoral votes to whoever gets the most popular votes. Right now, it's done and distributed by legislative district. That's why President Trump won. Because if you won this congressional district with the popular vote, you get that electoral vote, and on and on and on. That's how he won. Now they are trying to change it such that New York, California, and Texas and Florida will pick every president from this point on.
You're talking about getting rid of the electoral college.
They want to get rid of the
popular.
Yes, they want to get rid of the electoral college.
But when you look at the Democratic side, 23 candidates now, is there any that you think are most likely to create a problem for Trump, be the most difficult opponent for him, at one or two that you think would be the hardest for him to beat?
I don't see any of the presidential Democratic wannabes, as I call them. See, that makes some people mad. The Democratic presidential wannabes can beat him honestly. Now, with social media, many of the things we talked about here today, knowing how to utilize social media, brainwashing young people, planting these socialist ideals little by little by little, and some people going, oh, that sounds good. Yeah. It sounded good when they started the USSR back in 1922. They did a socialist experiment for 70 years and it didn't work. And pretty soon all 15 countries said, this isn't working for us. They went their separate ways in 1992. Why? They tried everything they could. Then you got Bernie Sanders out there talking about he's a democratic socialist. No, he's not. There's no such thing. He likes to point toward Denmark. Well, what he doesn't tell you about Denmark is that the tax rate is 56% for nearly everybody. 63. 63%. Thank you. Now here's the part that blew me away. Do you know what the sales tax is on everything people buy in Denmark? 25%. That is a wow. 25%. So he says, well, that's not his version of democratic socialism. What is it? No, he is totally planting these little socialist ideas, he and others. If President Trump had to run against any one of the 20, it's now 20, presidential Democratic wannabes, he would beat them as long as it was a fair race. But we can't guarantee that it's going to be a fair race.
Well, and you've seen some Democrats come after Biden already, saying he's too moderate.
Right.
He's not going far enough
right.
to the left. So
right.
We'll see. I mean, it looks like he may move further to the left to try to do a better job and win the primary, but we'll see what happens in the general election.
We'll just have to see. Soon as Biden announced he took the lead, right?
Yeah.
Guess who he took the lead over? Bernie Sanders. Now, I happen to think, this is my opinion, I happen to think that Biden took the lead because the moderate, normal Democrats don't like any of the other 19. They don't. Biden is a refreshing, almost a Democrat to the Democrats. That's why he's out front. And I predict he probably is going to stay out front. Now, unfortunately, former Vice President Biden has the ability to shoot himself in the foot multiple times in the same day. I can't speak to whether or not that's going to hold up, okay? But he is more of a normal Democrat than the other 19. is the best way to say it. And that's why he jumped out in first place. Now, is he a better candidate for president than President Donald Trump? No. President Donald Trump is a businessman. He cares about the people. Former Vice President Biden, bless his heart, he's a status quo. He will preside if he gets elected president, but he's not going to lead. You can quote me on that one.
You think Trump will beat him if he's the nominee?
If Biden is the nominee and you have fair elections, President Trump will beat him. I have to keep saying that because there's a lot of hanky-panky that goes on in some of these states and some of these districts that I don't know firsthand about, but I know about some of them where some dirty stuff went on. So if it's a fair election, I believe President Trump will win.